In a positive note, the Lakers get eliminated from NBA Cup. The Trojans face their toughest test of the season before presumably having a much easier bowl game, and the Dodgers keep a key component to their championship roster. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It's November 30th, 2024. Welcome back to the Sanctum Sanctorum of LA Sports. We even added a new subscriber to the Angeleno Familia yesterday. Thank you for getting in on the ground floor. We're going to do our best to keep you informed. But I got to be honest with you. We were really scraping the bottom of the barrel for news during the holidays. You could put barrels on top of barrels. Each last one of them was scraped. But we still have some stuff to talk about. So if you like being in the know about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It lets you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist, and by all means comment. Now, before we go through the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard. Oklahoma City 101, Lakers 93. The Lakers get eliminated from the NBA Cup. The defending champs of the NBA Cup. Now, this is lovely. Absolutely gorgeous. Because winning the thing last year made them laughing stocks across the league. Oh, the commissioner was basically wrenching Jeannie Buss's arm behind the small of her back and saying, you will treat this as a big deal. You will put up a banner. But come on, nobody thinks that's the real thing. Then, to add more insult, Boston hoisted the actual thing, the actual title, up into their crappy ass rafters. That's the one that people care about. Do you really want to go from the franchise that brought us Showtime, that brought us Shaq and Kobe, to NBA Cup Dynasty? Of course not. Ain't no parade for the NBA Cup. The Doodah Parade is more important than what you get when you get an NBA Cup. The NBA Cup, if there was any celebration for winning the NBA Cup, I would welcome Hamas supporters to protest the damn thing. The only thing that sucks about them losing last night is that this is part of a trend. The Lakers have lost 4 of their last 5. Dalton Connect led with 20 points. The Lakers simply weren't focused, and I think it's because they knew after winning it last year, they'd rather not get this title again. Also in the NBA Cup, Minnesota 93, Clippers 92. James Harden scores 20 points. The Clippers have not, however, been eliminated from this stupidity yet. Kings 2, Anaheim 1. Eric Portillo, considered possibly the Kings goalie of the future. The Kings actually have about 3 legit goalie prospects coming up, but Portillo stops 29 shots in his NHL debut, which is pretty important because, frankly, it looked like the Kings were outplayed to me. Alex Laferriere broke a tie with a goal early in the third. New Mexico 83, USC basketball 73. The Trojans are on a losing streak in pre-conference play, so that'll make you feel like somebody put a boot between your legs. Josh Cohen led USC with 14 points. Meanwhile, today, 5th-ranked Notre Dame is at USC at 12:30. Lovely rivalry. Can't wait to watch it, even though SC's obviously in a down year. Because should the Trojans post the upset, away goes the Fighting Irish from the college football playoff picture. Clearly, it is going to be the biggest challenge for the USC defense. Notre Dame has a plus 301 point differential, which means, honestly, they've just been throttling teams. Here's what's on the line for the Trojans today. Which early bowl do they hit up? Now, what I've been reading, I've been going through projections, is that it's either going to be the Las Vegas Bowl or the Sun Bowl out in El Paso. And then I went through possible opponents, and it's abundantly clear none of these teams, frankly, stank. Yeah, they're stank. None of these teams stack up to Notre Dame. They're looking at teams like Syracuse. I saw Syracuse lose to Stanford. Stanford with 3 wins. Boston College, Missouri. Let's be real. None of those matchups are particularly thrilling. I don't know if anybody really wants to fly out to El Paso, Texas. But I will say this much. It's better than Fresno State at UCLA at 12:30. This is a season finale for the Bruins in the first season with Deshaun Foster as head coach. But it is somewhat interesting to look at. Fresno State has won the last 4 times these two programs have met. 26 Bruins players will be in their final game. And by the way, we've been talking about how UCLA's offense has been sketchy at best. 9 Bruins defensive starters are playing in their last game. The Bruins are going to have to rebuild their defense like over the offseason. It is Galaxy game day. Seattle's in town to face the Galaxy at 7, with the winner moving on to a cup that actually matters, MLS Cup. They'll get to the MLS Cup finals with a win. The Galaxy have not lost at Dignity Health Sports Park this season. They've also scored 15 goals in 3 playoff games. For those of you who think nobody knows how to put the ball in the net in soccer, the Galaxy would be your team. Meanwhile, Seattle has the best defense in MLS. So yeah, that's a hell of a matchup. Give me all of that. And Ottawa's at the Kings at 4. The Kings have a chance at their first 3-game winning streak of the season. Dave Rittich will be back in net. And now let's get to the news. There are types of players that Andrew Friedman covets, including the ones who have been described often as Swiss Army knives. Chris Taylor, Swiss Army knife. Kike Hernandez, Max Muncy, Swiss Army knives. And on some level, it kind of sucks that they've been linked to the Swiss Army, because I've never heard of the Swiss Army winning a single battle, right? But hey, if you need somebody to help you with whittling, don't forget to call the Swiss. Man, they make some great knives. Now, Tommy Edman is one such human blade, and the National League Championship Series MVP was rewarded handsomely with a 5-year contract worth $74 million. And yes, some of the money will be deferred, which I'm sure is going to throw everyone on the social medias into another spasm of anger. To which I reply, the Dodgers didn't break any rules. Get over yourselves. This is what happens when players want to come to a winner and stay there. They know they're going to get the money, so they are perfectly willing to defer it so that they can win. If your team was building a dynasty, you'd be able to talk all kinds of players into deferrals. You're not. The Dodgers are. Edman came in a 3-team trade at the deadline with the Cardinals and the White Sox. He's 29. By the way, dude wasn't even a free agent. We have updated our free agent list here. He had a year to go on his contract. The Dodgers were like, yeah, let's just not make this an issue next year. Friedman didn't want to leave it to chance. Now, having said that, we mentioned this whole thing about being versatile. Edman is probably going to stay in center field for the course of the year. Yes, he played shortstop, but there's been talk, obviously, about Mookie Betts into the infield. You line him up with Gavin Lux. Maybe you trade Gavin Lux for another infielder. You have no idea. But either way, you're looking at Edman in center, because the Dodgers are going to have to replace both corner outfielders if they are, in fact, serious about Betts coming to second base, and we don't know what's going to happen with Teoscar Hernandez yet. We have added the names that have been compiled over the last week to the Idiot Scribe Dodger Free Agent Rumor Board. These are the ones that the Dodgers have on their own roster. These are the ones that are just rumors pulled out of the backside of your average scribe. Of course, they were right on Joe Kelly. I should say, why am I saying Joe Kelly? This is what happens when you take too many red-eye flights. They were right on Blake Snell. but when you consider we have about 20 some odd names there, that's a shooting percentage of 5. Thanksgiving is considered a mark for NHL teams to consider where they're at. You're about a quarter of the way through the hockey season before deciding paths at the trade deadline a couple of months away. If you look at the Kings, they are simply inconsistent. In the last week alone, they got their asses kicked by a terrible San Jose team, and then the next game out shut down Winnipeg. Now, in my opinion, they're probably a playoff team, especially when they get Drew Doughty back. But because it's not a certainty that this is a playoff team, I think they're going to be buyers at the trade deadline. And you add on top of that, Rob Blake might be in his final months as general manager, and he might want to go out in a blaze of something. If this is his last go-round, I think even he's smart enough to know that the Kings need scoring. So we'll see what happens there. J.K. Dobbins has been ruled out for the Chargers in Atlanta on Sunday. This is somewhat painful. He's ranked 4th in the AFC in rushing. Thanksgiving dinner, meanwhile, hadn't even settled when Chicago fired their head coach, and that just started up the rumor mill, right? Here is what the Chargers' success has brought them. Both offensive coordinator Greg Roman and defensive coordinator Jesse Minter have been listed as possible replacements. Now, keep in mind, much like this rumor board for the Dodgers, the scribes are just throwing names against a wall right now to see which one sticks most and smells least. Minter probably has a little bit more juice, but in my opinion, I wouldn't necessarily go to sleep on Roman, because when the Chicago Bears as a franchise are at their best, they run the football. And that has been all about what the Chargers have wanted to accomplish this season. Being physical, running the ball. We've thrown a lot of dirt on LAFC's grave in the last week. Part of the reason is that they could lose a lot of players, established ones, people that actually helped LAFC become LAFC. And by the way, the black and gold also enjoy transferring the next generation of players out. So in other words, you might not have a bunch of hungry young players coming in, and you're definitely going to say sayonara to a lot of the older guys. What do you have left? So for example, midfielder Bajung Darboe has been transferred to German superpower Bayern Munich. Darboe played for LAFC 2 in something called MLS Next Pro. It's basically their minor league system. He is the second LAFC prospect to move on to Europe, the other being Mamadou Fall to FC Barcelona. Darboe is also the third MLS homegrown player to be specifically summoned by Bayern Munich. Alaric Jackson is expected to play for the Rams in New Orleans on Sunday, despite not having practiced all week due to an injured foot. Sean McVay said they didn't have Jackson out there for practice as a precaution. And Detroit has signed Rams defensive lineman Jonah Williams off of the Rams practice squad. Okay. I don't think the Rams are shedding that many tears, but you let me know what you think in the comments thread. How excited are you that we no longer have to link the words NBA Cup with Lakers anymore? For that matter, are you cool with the Dodgers keeping Edman? And do you actually believe any of the names on this board are legit? And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We talk LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.